So this is like kind of how most people want to hold the reins just naturally. And this is incorrect because it doesn't really allow you to have any finesse with how you use the reins. If you are holding your reins like this, then basically the only way you can do anything is by using your elbow. Alright, hello everyone, I'm Amelia. Today's video is about how to ride a horse, and we're going to be going over some of the most common beginner rider mistakes that I see if someone gets on a horse and they've never ridden a horse before. So let me know in the comments if you're a beginner rider or if you're planning on putting someone on your horse who's never ridden before. So the first thing is the reins. And a lot of beginner riders, when they grab onto the reins, they grab the reins underhanded like this. So this is kind of how most people want to hold the reins just naturally. And this is incorrect because it doesn't really allow you to have any finesse with how you use the reins. If you are holding your reins like this, then basically the only way you can do anything is by using your elbows. So what you actually want to do when you ride is that you want to hold your reins kind of underhanded like this, where the part going to the horse's mouth goes between your pointer finger and your pinky finger. The rein runs through your hand and then up to the top. So this is how you want to hold your hands. I always say to imagine like you've got little cups of lemonade or hot chocolate or whatever you'd like to drink when you're done with your ride. You don't want to spill those. So you want your thumbs to be up. You don't want to ride like this or like this. You want to keep the liquid in your cup. The reason that we ride with our reins like this is that it allows you to softly talk to your horse's mouth. So basically, like if I want my horse to turn or to bend his head, I can just use a little ring finger on my right rein, and you see how he turns his head to the right, and same thing on the left. So first one is your reins. Now the second one is your stirrups. And when you get on for the first time, or if you putting a beginner rider on, you want to help them to find the correct stirrup length. In general, a good way to test this is if you drop your foot out of the stirrup, that the bottom of the stirrup should be level with your ankle bone. In general, with like a very beginner rider, I might have them a little bit on the shorter side, but it's important that your stirrups are the right length so that you can stay grounded in the saddle. And you want to have the stirrup should go on the ball of your foot like this. So a lot of people, either their stirrups end up back here like in the arch of your foot, and this is incorrect, or they tend to have their stirrup like just on their toe. So you want to have the ball of your foot on the stirrup. It's also really important that you have proper riding boots, because you don't want to ride in tennis shoes or anything like that. You need to have a heel on your boot so that your foot doesn't slide all the way through the stirrup, and then you could end up in a really bad accident if your foot slides all the way through the stirrup. So once you have your hands and your feet correct, the next most common thing that I see when riders get on is that they kind of pitch forward like this and grip with their heels. So our instinct, like whenever we're tense or nervous, is to curl up into fetal position. And this is just naturally what we do when we're scared. But when you do this with your horse, it's really super dangerous, because if your horse does anything, like if they turn or spin around or kick up behind, you're just going to fall right off. So it's really important when you get on that you want to, the first thing I always check with the student is ear, shoulder, hip, heel alignment. You want to have this neutral spine and this correct alignment, because that's what allows you to stay stable in the saddle. So those are kind of the most important things that you want to think about when you first get on a horse, or if you have a beginner rider getting on your horse. Get their hands right, get their feet right, and get their alignment correct. And then the other thing that's really important is if you're just beginning, that you really take small baby steps. So like at first you want to be on a lunge line, you want to have someone lead you around and teach you how to steer and how to stop your horse before you just go off free. Because I can't tell you how many stories I hear, like since people, I'm a horse trainer, and they're like, oh yeah, I rode a horse once and then you know, the horse ran off or it bucked them off or they have some terrible experience. So you really want to avoid having a bad experience. And the way to avoid that is to really take small baby steps and learn things correctly and slowly. So the basics of it are you use your legs to go, you use your reins to stop, you always maintain this proper alignment. So if I want my horse to go forward, I'm going to close my leg, give him a little bump. When he goes forward, I'm going to release my leg. To turn my horse to the left, my right hand stays on the right side of his neck. My left hand opens like this, away from his side, and he turns to the left. When he turns to the left, I release the aids. So my inside rein opens and indicates the turn, and my outside hand executes the turn like so. A lot of people kind of, when they want to turn, they go like this. This is called neck reining, which it works if your horse is really well educated, but it's not the recommended method. So basically, to turn, your left rein turns your horse to the left like so. Your right rein you're going to use to turn your horse to the right. It's important when you turn that you stay up and down. So notice when I'm turning that I'm not like going like this. You never want to go like side to side. You always want to think about your center of mass staying over your horse. And so that really means that you're not leaning forward, you're not leaning back, you're staying right here and directing your horse underneath your center of mass. Now, how to stop your horse? The first thing that you're going to do to stop your horse is think about your seat. So if you can see here, while I'm walking, my hips are kind of moving with him. If I want to stop, I'm going to pull my belly button to my spine and stop moving my seat. And you see how he comes to a halt. Now, if your horse doesn't listen to your seat, then you use your reins. But it's really important that if you use your reins, first tighten your seat, upper body a little back, and then half halt, release, half halt, release, half halt, release. You never want to just pull back super hard on both reins because your horse is way stronger than you and they're always going to outpull you. The other thing you can do if your horse isn't listening to a stopping aid is turn your horse a little to the side. So think about, like, if your horse won't stop, you can turn them in a small circle until they come to a stop. Good boy. So that's just a quick little run through of some very basic things about riding a horse. Like I said before, safety first, take baby steps, and really I think it's so important that you get lessons and work with a really good professional that knows about horses and that can help you get off on the right foot, because if you have a bad experience or if your horse has a bad experience, it's something that you may never get over. So it's always best to take it slow and be on the cautious side so that you and your horse can build confidence. Thanks for watching. Check out in the description box, I have a free mini course on rider position and also one on confidence that might help you out if you're just getting started with learning how to ride.